Hi everybody, welcome to Quilt Club for March 2024, and it's our 7th month. I can't believe how fast it is going by. And here we're on the downward slide to spring, although we never really had winter, did we? We've had days that just felt like they should be in early June. Anyway, the last couple of days we've had a little taste of winter, so I'm looking forward to the consistently nicer weather that's coming our way. So this month I have the block to show you. So this is our block for this month done in our colorway that we're using for the store. So you can see that it's quite a piecey block, but it's a very simple block. You have a number of flying geese units in there, and you've got a whole ton of half square triangles. So easy to put together. And in the how-to video this month, I did not go over technique because you've made the half square triangles multiple times before and the flying geese as well. You can use rulers to help you out with that. The Tucker trimmer, the wing clipper are great ones. The Eleanor Burns also has a wonderful half square triangle trim tool. So there's lots of tools that you can use to make things easier. In the how-to video, I went over some techniques that allow you to make 4 half square triangles at a time or 8 half square triangles at a time. This is really helpful when you're producing multiple half square triangles with the same 2 fabrics, and it allows you to make those additional half square triangles all at one go. I'm doing a project of my own at the moment that uses 8 half square triangles. I'm making 8 half square triangles at a time, and it's so much fun because I take a nice big square, I do a little bit of stitching, some slicing and dicing, and shazam, I've got 8 half square triangles. So it's a lot of fun because it goes so darn fast. Behind me you can see the 2 additional blocks that in our sample quilts. I've got the one over here in the blue with the rusty orange accent, and then just behind my shoulder here is the one from that's on point. As again, it looks quite different when it's on point, but they're both really pretty blocks. I'm sure you're going to have fun with this one, and I can't wait to see your color combinations. So I am going to get right to the newsletter because we just have a ton of stuff coming up. So a few of the things I'm telling you about will be in store, and hopefully you'll be close enough that you can perhaps pop in and take advantage of that. If not, we have lots of online offerings as well. So first of all, we've got our March Madness is going on at the moment. For the month of March, we are giving away a free pattern with every purchase over $60 before taxes, online and in store. We've got lots of different patterns, so we are trying to give you a different one each time that you might order, and you'll have a nice little collection of patterns at the end of the month, hopefully. So that goes till March 31st. Worldwide Quilting Day is coming up really soon, and it's an opportunity to celebrate all the wonderful things about this craft and our quilting community. You can participate in the greater quilting community in lots and lots of different ways, whether you come to a charity sew, you take a class, you belong to a guild, you get together with your stitching group, lots of different ways to get together with fellow quilters and share knowledge and laughs and food and all the things that we quilters do. So lots of fun. We wanted to celebrate Worldwide Quilting Day both online and in store in a decent way. So we decided that we would offer free shipping this Saturday, which is March 16th, Worldwide Quilting Day, for the one day. And hopefully you're looking at this video before March 16th and you can take advantage of that. So normally we have free shipping over $150 purchase online, but you'll be able to take advantage of it no matter how much you're spending. We're also going to be having some events in the store. If you're able to drop by, we're going to be having some paper bag prizes, which is you get a ballot for each, a draw ticket for each $25 that you spend, and you can choose what prize you want to put your ballot, your coupon into to hopefully win. We're also going to be having a draw for a gift card. So hopefully you'll be able to come by the store and celebrate all things quilting with us. We are also going to be having in March our Easter extravaganza. Easter is March 31st, so we're going to be doing the week up to Easter, so from the 23rd to the 30th. The store will be closed Good Friday and Easter Sunday, but those other days, each time you come into the store and are making a purchase, you will be able to draw an egg from a basket, a plastic egg, take the egg apart, and in there you might find a chocolate treat. You always have chocolate. And you will also have a coupon for a prize of some sort. It might be a free gift. It might be a free tax, no tax on your purchase. It might be a discount towards your purchase. Free fat quarter, lots and lots of different things. So hopefully you'll be able to pop in the week before Easter and take part in Easter extravaganza. Also in March, we have March 30th, and we are again celebrating our 30th anniversary. So our anniversary celebration is a program where we are offering one particular product or group of products on the 30th of the month at 30% off. So this March 30th is no exception, despite the fact that it's a day before Easter. So this month we're going to be offering 30% off all 3-yard quilt patterns and 3-yard quilt books. So the 3-yard quilt program is from a company called Fabric Cafe. It's it's a mother-daughter duo, Donna Robertson and Fran Morgan, and they have written a lot of different books. This is just one of them. That all the patterns in the book make use of three 1-yard cuts. In our case, we cut 1 meter cuts, so you just have a little bit extra, which is actually kind of nice because a lot of the 3-yard patterns, if you have just a yard, you have to do a very narrow binding, but our meter cuts give you that little tiny bit extra. So in the books, you will get 8 different patterns, and you can see this is just one sample. We'll have lots on offer that all use 3 1-yard, in our case 1 meter cuts. We also have lots and lots of Fabric Cafe patterns, and they are exactly the same. Each one uses 3 1-yard or 1 meter cuts. So there's lots of different patterns and books that are going to be available. They'll all be 30% off, and we are putting together countless bundles of 3 1-meter cuts of fabric. All of them are carefully coordinated and curated. This is a neat golfing one. It's got the golf balls and the shirts and then a fun plaid. And then there's some kids ones. We're cutting a lot of 3-yard bundles. So you'll be spoiled for choice. So the bundles, the patterns, and the books are all going to be 30% off, and we'll have them all posted online on the 30th. So the items will be offered in-store and online, so you can take advantage in either place. Now, what else have we got coming up? We are going to be having a batting sale. We have a new supplier for batting. We're getting in Pellon Nature's Touch 80-20 batting. So it's 80% cotton, 20% polyester. So it's a nice mix. It's a very nice hand. You can feel it if you're in the store. It's lovely and soft, has a lovely drape. It is Pellon, which is a wonderful company. What we have brought in are double fold rolls. So instead of being 4 feet tall, 48 inches tall, for a 96-inch wide batting, it's double folded. So you get a 96-inch wide batting, but it's on a roll that is only 2 feet tall. And it's a very manageable size because it is a 9-yard roll or 8.2 meters. So that is enough to probably do 3 quilts, depending on the size of the quilt that you're doing, and 96 inches wide. So it's a wonderful, manageable size of batting. We're going to be sending out an email about this. The regular price of this batting is $147.99 for the roll, and we are going to be offering it at 20% off. So the price will be $118.39. So it's also a very manageable price. So watch for details on an email coming out very soon. The delivery for the batting will be around May 15th. We would let you know when the batting had arrived in store. Now, our Hills and Valleys Shop Hop is coming up soon on the first weekend in May. So that's May 3rd, 4th, the 6th, 7th, I think it is. I'm sorry. We have our shop hop, which involves ourselves, Mount Forest, Creek Bank Swing Center in Mount Forest. Oh my gosh, it's getting late and I'm gapping. Creemore House of Stitches and Threads That Bind in Maxwell. So those 4 stores, we are doing something different. I'm just going to run and get the project so I can show it to you. Just hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. So we're doing a rather different project this year. We have a wonderful fun book called Modern Holiday Table Runners, and the 4 stores are each doing a different table runner from this book. We're working on our samples and we're going to have them posted very soon. So as you travel around to each store, you'll have the opportunity to buy a kit for each of the projects that these stores are doing. So we're doing the tulips, the stars, the pumpkins, and the little houses. So we've got lots of different projects. And when you get to the last store and you hand in your passport with all 4 stamps, you'll be able to buy the pattern at a deeply discounted price. So it's a really neat adventure, and we have our traditional wonderful prizes. $1,000 shopping spree is our top prize, and then we've got lots of secondary and tertiary prizes. So we hope that you will be able to go out and take part in the shop hop. Now, lastly, Signs of Spring in April, from April 15th to 21st, we're having a blue-green fabric sale. So all our blue and green fabrics are going to be 20% off in store, so you can pop in and enjoy that savings on any of those fabrics in the store. Okay, so I think I'm just going to turn to the products that I am going to talk about this month, and I will try and be fairly quick because it's getting long. So the first thing I have is the Quilters card decks. So they've now on the 3rd edition of these, and we've had the original Quilt Builder card deck for quite a long time. We now have the 2nd edition, and we have the latest one. The 3rd set has also just been put out. So we have Quilt Builder card deck set number 3. So each one of these decks contains patterns for 40 different blocks, 8 layouts, and then a number of cards with information about quilt hints and tips for putting together your quilt. So when you get the card set, there are these 40 different cards. So each one shows a block layout in a grayscale, so it's very easy to see. On the other side of the card, you have the diagrams, just a line diagram here, which shows you the piecing structure a lot more easily. Then they give you one in grayscale and one that's sort of blown out so you can see how it's put together, and then one in full color to give you a better idea. In addition, you have the instructions here on the amount of fabric you need to cut for all the different colors within the unit. So colors and shapes. So you've got dark, light, and then 2 mediums, but showing the different shapes that you're putting together and the sizes that you can make. So the block instructions are for 6-inch, 9-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, and 36-inch blocks. So if you want to make a baby quilt with 1 block, easy as pie. So in each of these decks, you've got 40 different patterns. So you've got 120 different block designs in there. A lot of them will work together to give you a secondary pattern. It's very cleverly put together, and I think endlessly useful. I love putting together different ideas and working out how you can piece together a quilt. And this gives you all sorts of food for your imagination to lead you to some great new designs. So as I said, in the kit there's also some hints and tips on different sorts of things. That there's one for figuring out the yardage that you need for a quilt for the different squares. Yardage for rectangles is on the back. So there's a little card about why seam piecing, lots of different information. And then in each set there's 8 different layout cards. So it shows you all sorts of different ideas of different layouts you can do. And they're, every set is different. So you've got lots and lots of information there. So these are great. It's wonderful when you're doing a block design for your guild or your group, if you want to work on a mystery quilt. And like if I want to prepare a mystery quilt, I can pull out one of these decks and get all kinds of patterns in there. Or if you just want to make a quilt on your own without going searching for a pattern, there's everything you need right in these boxes. So each of the sets is $29.99 and less your 20%. So they're a really wonderful price as well. Okay, that is the first thing we've got. Now we've got 2 sets of tools that are very useful. The first one is this new set from Gypsy Quilter. It is called Compact Screwdriver Set, and you can see that they are tiny. So I've taken these out, and there they are, and one is a slot head, and the other is the star shape, which I can't remember what it's actually called. But they're very, very small, and they're very, very short. These are absolutely perfect for working with the screws on your sewing machine and lots of other different types of equipment, but particularly your sewing machine. So often the machine comes with a longer screwdriver that is actually too long to effectively get in the needle area and undo the screw that you need to undo. So these are wonderful. It's a great little set. Gypsy Quilter makes a quality product, and they're just $8.99 less your 20%. So those are awesome. Now the next thing, this is brand new. So these are called Position and Press Silicone Tools. These are from Gypsy Quilter as well. It is a set of 4 tools. The tips are silicone, so they're very, very flexible. They are completely washable, and you can just wipe them off with a baby wipe, or you can wash them under the tap. But these are wonderful for working in any area where you're wanting to manipulate fabric around, particularly when you're near your iron. So you can get stuff under your iron and not have to worry about frying your fingers. You can open a seam with these, push the seam to the side, straighten out a crease, anything like that with these lovely tools. So these are just going to be excellent addition to your arsenal of tools. They are $19.99 less the 20%. So they're a great deal, and you know, care for them well and they'll last you for a very long time. So these are great. Okay, now the next thing I want to show you is a set of tools that are going to help you with your free motion quilting in a number of different ways, and also quilting with straight line quilting. So I've got 3 things I'm going to show you. The first is called the Supreme Slider. So this is from Gypsy Quilter again. And what it is a Teflon sheet. This is so slippery. The back side is like a cling. So it's tacky without being sticky, but this will cling to your machine bed. Now I think I'm going to turn the angle of the camera so that you can see these in action a little bit better. I will tell you about the other 2 products before we turn the camera. So the next thing is called Golden Threads quilting paper. And this is a very, very clever product. I know it's really popular with Arlene, one of our teachers, uses it in many of her classes with applique for motion quilting, quilting with a walking foot. Very useful. So this comes in 3 different sizes, 12, 18, and 24 in a roll. There's a lot of paper on there because it's ultra thin, and I will show you that in a second. The last thing is the quilt pounce. So quilt pounce is a pad that comes apart and a pack of chalky powder that is both iron off and wash away. So what the pounce looks like, here's one that's out of the package. So it's got a sort of terry cotton pad on the bottom. This is just a container to store it in, so that tucks in there. On the top here is a little plug. I'm just gonna pull that out. Okay, there's the plug taken out, and you can see the inside is filled with chalk. So you take it out of the bag there and you fill this up with the chalky powder, put the top back on there so that it is snug and isn't going to spill out all over the place. You can fill this up for the first time, but when you're running out of powder, you can buy refills of the pounce powder separately from the pad so that you don't have to buy another pad to continue. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a second and turn the camera. Okay, so what I've got under here first is the Supreme slider. Now this is the back side of the sheet, and this is the tacky side. So what you are going to do is you're going to place this upside down with the pink side down on your machine bed. When you spread that out over your machine bed, that is going to adhere to the machine bed. The idea is that you trim this to fit your machine bed, or if you have an extension table, to fit the extension table. But it's going to be lots of it's not going to be too big for most machines. In the center, you can see there's a little bit of a hole there. That is to go where your needle goes through and your feed dogs are. You can trim that out if you need to for your machine. The back side can be washed very easily, so you can either wipe it with a baby wipe to get any lint and dust off so that it will cling, or you can wash it under the tap and let it air dry. But it can be removed from your machine whenever you don't want it on there, and then replaced. Just keep it clean. So when you're doing free motion, and I am not going to actually sew because that is a little challenging to show you, but this slides around so easily on that surface that is going to make it far easier for you to move your fabric around to make your free motion much more less effort and better results. So these are a wonderful addition. There is a larger size. This size of the Supreme slider is $49.99, and it's 8 inches by 11 3/4 inches, and you're 20% off that. The larger size, we can give you the information to get that in if you would like to get one. So that's the first thing that is really helpful. Now, the Golden Threads paper is very useful for transferring designs to your fabric. So you can see just how thin that is. You can see right through it. It's a very, very thin tissue-like paper. There are many, many, many meters on the roll. I'm just going to read how much we've got on here. 12 inches wide by 20 yards. So you have a ton of Golden Threads paper on the roll. Comes in 12, 18, and 24 inches. What you do with this is you can use it to transfer design to the center of a block or anywhere on a block. You can transfer a border design. All sorts of different uses for the Golden Threads paper. So I'm just going to show you how you transfer the design. Now you can draw a design right on the top of the Golden Threads paper. What you're going to do is cut the Golden Threads paper the size of the block that you need, and this is a 6-inch square, and I've cut multiple layers. Now you can do way more than what I've done here. You could probably have 10 or 20 layers because it is so thin. You're going to stack all of those up, and then I've just taken a very, very simple design that I've printed out on a piece of paper. As I say, if you're talented, you can draw your own. I am not talented in that regard. And then I just trimmed this down to be small enough to fit over my stack of paper. And then what I'm going to do is stack up all the sheets of paper that I have and put my design on the top. And I just took a little pin, which I've misplaced, there it is, and I just put a pin in the center just to hold the sheets from slipping around when I was transferring the design. Now, to transfer the design to all these sheets of paper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a large sized needle in my sewing machine. So I used 100. I think a 90 would probably be big enough. And then I am going to take the thread out of the needle of the machine, and I'm going to stitch along the lines through all the layers of fabric with my size 100 needle with no thread in it. when I finish doing that and I take apart my sheets of paper, I hope you can see this all right. You can see that there are holes punctured in that design. So I've made that star impression all the way all around. So that is ready to use now. So I can now use this to transfer my design. So I'm going to pin that. Just, you could put a little dab of glue, you could pin it, you could probably just hold it. It's not a big deal. What I'm going to do is use my quilt pounce to transfer the design from the onto my piece of fabric. So when you first put the chalk in the pounce, you're going to pat it up and down a number of times until you start seeing the chalk come through onto the bottom surface. It takes a little bit of patting. The pounce, it tends to make you think you're pouncing it up and down on the paper to transfer through. But in actual fact, you're going to just do a smooth sliding motion across your paper. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take that. Ignore what I said about the pin. It's tearing the paper. So we're going to take the pin out, but I'm going to transfer, I'm going to use my pounce and go across my paper like this. When I lift this out of the way, you can see it has transferred the design beautifully onto that black fabric, and I don't have to worry about the chalk because it's going to iron off or wash off completely. So I now can do my quilting if I want to make that design in the center of my block without having to worry about where my stitching is going to go and if it's going to be perfect. And for somebody like me who can't do free motion terribly well, this is a wonderful tool. This is also great for transferring a design using a quilt stencil, which you then can follow with your sewing machine. Okay, so that's how the Golden Threads paper, the quilt pounce, and the super slider all work. So the Golden Threads paper, as I said, we have 3 different sizes. We have the 12-inch one, and that is $16.99 for that 20 yards of paper. The 18 inches is $22.99. And the 24-inch one is $37.99. So depending on what you're doing, it works really, really well. Now, another thing you can do if you're doing borders, if you measure the amount of border you want, say I want 37 inches, I roll off however many inches I want, then I fold it in half to be the width, I fold it to be the width of the border that I want, and then fold it in half lengthwise in a quarter and then an eighth. And then you can do a nice design that you can trace evenly, so that if you want a sort of scallopy, wavy, when you fold it 8 times, you can make 8 little scallops the length of that piece of Golden Threads paper. Lay it out and stitch your design by transferring it through with a quilt pounce. So it's a really, really clever idea of how to use this to put great designs onto your quilt. So the quilt pounce is $29.99, and that gives you a nice big bag of the powder, which should last you quite a while, plus the pounce pad, less your 20%, of course. And I think that is everything this time. So I hope you all have a wonderful time as the flowers are bursting out of the ground and we're seeing the birds back, and you have some great quilting experiences as well. Hope you'll be able to join us for one of our special events coming up, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.